All
Hari Om,
right, let's.
Swami.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Good evening. So let's do the chanting. Please chant then. Om Bhadram Karnevi Shunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashe Maksha Viryajatraha Sthirairang is Tuštuvag Shastanuvhi Vashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Shastina Indro Vriddhashravaha Shastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Shasti Nastaksho Arishtanemihi Shasti no Brihaspatir Dadhatu Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. Oh, peace, peace, peace. All right. So we have been studying Mundaka Upanishad. We have read 2 chapters and the third part of the second chapter. The second part of the second chapter. Titiya Mundaka, Titiya Khanda. That is where we started. And it starts with one analogy. The analogy of an archery. Archery. So spiritual life is entire spiritual progress, or the path is compared to or compared with the art of archery. So as an archer, at the beginning struggles, and at first they are distracted by the world around them, but gradually when their focus become more and more sharp, then they are less distracted by the world. They can more focus on the target. So the target, the bow, the arrow all represent something deeper in spiritual life. Just as archery requires discipline and focus, so does spiritual practice requires discipline and focus. So in this way, the art of archery is being compared. We saw that mantra in one of our previous classes, mantra number 2.2.3. dhanurgṛhītva aupaniṣadaṃ mahāstraṃ śaraṃ hi upāsāniśitaṃ saṃdhayīta āyamya tad-bhāva-gatena cetasā lakṣyam tad-eva-akṣaraṃ somya viddhi. Having taken the bow, which is the great weapon from the Upanishads, and having fixed the arrow. What is the arrow? Arrow is our own mind, which has been sharpened through meditation. Then draw it back. Draw it back means draw the string of the bow back. That is being compared with that when we are trying to meditate on that reality, we have to withdraw it. We have to take it away. We have to step aside from the world. With the mind absorbed in that state, dear one, shoot at the target, which is indeed the Purusha, which is indeed the Purusha. So, what do the elements of this metaphor, archery metaphor, represent? Okay. Do you recall what are the elements of the archery are compared with? What is the bow? What is the bow?
Om.
Om is the bow. Right. Om is the bow. So the bow is Om. Om, the powerful tool. What is Om? The powerful tool that connects us to the divine. Just like a bow propels the arrow forward, so also Om helps us move toward the spiritual awakening. So bow is the Om is the bow. The Om, the word Om has been said praṇavo. Okay, praṇavo. Praṇavo means Pranam is best name. One of the best names, good name, that is praṇavo. That is Omkara. Omkara is one of the best names of the ultimate reality. So what is the arrow? What is the arrow? If bow is Om is the bow, with that Om, with that bow, we should throw the arrow. So what is the arrow?
The mind.
The mind is the arrow. Mind has to get fixed at the target, and target we shall come. So the mind is compared to the arrow, and what it also says, mind which is sharp mind, which should be focused and prepared. So the distractions that we have during meditations are what make our arrow mind dull. Okay, the distractions are which make the arrow, our mind, dull, and the focus and discipline is what makes the arrow to be sharp. Upanishads say, upāsāniśitaṃ. Upāsana nishitam. Nishitam means the mind which has been sharpened by upāsana. So what is upāsana? Upāsana is attention. So as an arrow which is dull, an dull arrow can go and hit the target, but it will not remain in the target. It will fall down. Similarly, we can occasionally put our attention to that reality, but our problem is to sustain the attention. As a dull arrow can hit but cannot remain stuck, so also a dull mind means a distracted mind, cannot sustain attention. How true it is. In even now the problem, so many books are coming out now that the real problem of today's kids and youth is, in fact, whole world, we are not also immune from that problem of attention. And there are varieties of attention. When we say attention, there are different types of attention. For example, one is selective attention. That is, among many things are going on, but I am asked to pay attention to only one of them. Tune out other stimulation, but pay attention to only one of the things that is available. That is selection, attention selection. then there is such a thing called vigilance. Vigilance means sustain the attention for longer period of time. Sustain the attention. Not only just selectively pay attention, but also sustain the attention. Then another is goal focus. Goal focus is also another type of attention. Here, a person who has high goal focus attention, they can keep their mind on the goal. That thing I am going to do, what I am supposed to do, they can focus on the goal and ignore those sensations or ignore those events happening around which will not help them in reaching the goal. That is called goal focus. And then there is another type of attention which is called meta-awareness. Meta-awareness means being aware that our mind is wandering away. All are different types of attention. So when Upanishad says that the mind has to be sharpened through upasana or meditation, surprisingly, all these types of attention are enhanced by meditation. All of this. There are many activities which may help us to gain attention in one particular field or one particular type of attention. Okay, but meditation is the one which allow us to pay selectively attentive and sustain our attention, then remaining focused on the goal, and finally being aware of even mind wandering. All of these have been found that I have told you the stories of the Buddhist yogis and lamas who were brought to the neuroscience labs in University of Wisconsin, Madison campus. And when their attention, all these types of attention, different types of attention were tested, as well as their brain imaging was compared with their this heightened attention state, they found that these yogis are all showing a high capacity to have attention in all of these different categories of attention. And their brain is, all of them are having one particular type of vibration or waves in their brain. So it is universally so that those who can control their attention and those who can control their attention and control their regulation can control their life. Self-regulation are part of two things. One is controlling our cognition, where to put our attention at. This capacity is called cognition control. And another is emotional regulation. Be aware of what emotion is we are going through. Then also to think or get the space to think how to best express this emotion. I have recognized what emotion I am going through. I understand why this kind of emotion I am going through, but I will try to see that how to best harness this emotion, how I can regulate this emotion, and instead of being carried away by the emotion, how I can harness. I don't have to reject this emotion, but how I can harness this power of emotion. So they found that these two capacities, one is capacity to regulate attention or cognition, and capacity to regulate emotion. Both are enhanced, can be seen that these two components have been enhanced in the case of even in new meditators. People who have never meditated but practiced 20 minutes of meditation for even 2 months. 2 months, after 2 months, they start showing increase in attention. So, Upanishad is telling that mind is the arrow which has to hit the target called highest reality. But the mind is not any kind of mind. The mind is not unprepared mind. Unprepared mind can sometimes really can get a glimpse of the reality. Suddenly, it can take a flight, a flight in emotions or ideas, mind. But to sustain that kind of state, that is what needed. And having sharpened mind means which has been practiced, disciplined through attention, paying concentration. Such a mind is like a right arrow. And the target is what? Where the mind should hit, the ultimate goal is Purusha or Brahman. And just as the archer aims for the bull's eye, so we, spiritual seekers, should aim for the realization of the self. That is, the self is one with that vast reality. So, how do we ensure that we stay focused on the goal amidst life distraction? How we remain focused? What do you think? How we remain focused towards the goal? Oh, I am sorry. Now you can. Yes, please.
Through japa or karma yoga?
Yes, go ahead, Paul, again.
Through japa or karma yoga?
Japa and karma yoga. These are the two methods of keeping the mind free from distractions. Okay, Betty, what do you have in? Betty,
sorry.
Just a minute. Let Betty speak. Yeah. Betty, we cannot hear you, Betty. Your speaker, is it connected? Okay, Gunamai, what did you want to say?
I just thought Shravana Manana and ultimately yes.
Nidhyasana.
For me, hearing and reflecting.
Huh? What's that?
Hearing again and again and reflecting.
Okay, that will keep us the distractions away. Acha, fine. Yes, Pritiji, go ahead.
Abhyas yoga, Maharaj. Just practice.
Right. So, abhyas means just practice, consistently practicing, right?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, thank you. Suhash?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, but can you hear now?
Yeah.
Can you hear? Yeah.
It's coming broken.
Can you hear?
Coming broken.
Okay, I'm going to type it.
Calm the mind like how we deal our Japanese mind meditation is the same. Think carefully and listen. All right. Yes, practice. Abhyasana tu kaunteyo vairagya. So, Sri Krishna, Arjuna asked this question, and incidentally or coincidentally, Arjuna was a master archer. Okay, even a master archer like him is asking the question that how to control the mind. Mind is getting distracted all the time. And what kind of archer he was? Let us remember that he could shoot a flying bird. Not only that, he could shoot the eye of a flying bird by looking at its reflection on water. A flying bird hitting its eye, looking at the reflection. Such a master archer is asking the question, Chanchalam hi manah Krishna, pramathi palavat tiram, tassa nigraham aham manne pahyu iva su dushkuram. So, can anyone translate this verse except Subhash? Will anyone try? Chanchalam hi manah Krishna.
The mind is restless.
Then
The next part, Maharaj, I didn't remember. What? If you can repeat the next part, maybe.
Chanchalam hi manah Krishna, pramathi balavat dhiram. Pramathi.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the next meaning is, okay, Subhash, over to you.
I'm having problems with the audio.
Okay. So, Sri Krishna, Arjuna asks that mind is very restless. Mind is restless, and it is pramathi, very stubborn. Pramathi is very stubborn. Okay, if I don't want to, but still it will be distracted. And pramathi balabhadridam, not only stubborn, but very strongly stubborn. Very strongly stubborn. And controlling it is as difficult as catching wind. As catching wind is difficult, so controlling this mind is that difficult. Then Sri Krishna says, asamshayam mahabhav. That's a great assurance. Even Sri Krishna says, there is no doubt about that. No doubt about that, that mind is by nature distracted. So these yogis, and they also say, the yogis that I mentioned who have been scanned, that it is not that we shall not have any thoughts. The question is how our relationship with our thoughts, that changes. Okay, that is undoubtedly, there is no doubt that mind will be distracted, but tassa nigraham, which can be channeled. These thoughts can be channeled or oriented towards a particular goal by two methods. One is abhyasa, that is daily practice or consistent practice, and vairagya. Vairagya means withdrawing the mind from the rest of the world. So these yogis who had showed extraordinary capacity to keep their attention, all of them had at least 20,000 hours of practice. 20,000 hours of practice. And all of them had extended retreat, private retreat for 6 months. That kind of intense meditation they did. So this is abhyasa, doing the same thing again and again, and vairagya, that is Vairagya is just opposite of vairagya means when mind is liking many things and running towards them, chasing towards them. Vairagya is not having, hankering after things and experiences. This hankering after things and experiences are what distract the mind. So by practice of upasana is by practice of meditation daily and practicing vairagya. How to practice vairagya? Vairagya is practiced through reasoning, through analysis, that we are seeing the nature of the world. We are seeing through that this world will always remain a mixture of good and bad. And there can never be really any ideal situation, ideal environment. We will fix some problems, there will another set of problems. We will solve those problems, we shall see another set of problems. So it will never be possible to solve all the problems of the world. The world will be always like that. So there will be never perfection in the world. Perfection will be always in the world of spirit. So in the spirit there is no imperfection, and in the world there will be never perfection. That we have to remember. In the world of spirit, in the realm of spirit, there is ever perfection. And the world that we are engaged with can never be perfect. This kind of thoughts, this kind of reflections is what help in our vairagya. And that will help in focusing the mind. The target is Purusha, bull's eye, and remembering that again and again, reminding ourselves again and again is the practice. Now, if you remember another point I mentioned, that when we are talking about archery, there is definitely a distance between the arrow and the target. And that is why it is archery. Had there been no distance between the arrow and the target, there was no need of archery. Okay. So here there is why spiritual practice is needed? Because for the time being, the bow, the arrow, the mind is not yet fixed in the Brahman. So there is a distance between the arrow and the target. The arrow is the mind and target is the ultimate reality, Brahman. So here there is no physical distance, right? So distance is here created by the non-recognition, avidya, non-recognition. It is just like having a key in our pocket all the time, just forgetting or not recognizing the fact that the key was always already there in our pocket. So it is unlike distance, physical distance or temporal distance. It is all about the distance is the thickness of our ignorance. The thickness of our ignorance is the distance between the arrow and the goal. Okay. So the idea is one has to be, next verse is very important. Next verse says that one has to be very mindful in this archery, in this activity. Each action can either move us closer or further away from our spiritual goal. So one has to be mindful about their life. That is the next mantra. The mantra is this 2.2.4. Om is the bow and value of alertness. So in this verse, for the first time, the dhanu, the bow, is mentioned. That what is the bow? Bow is the om. Om is the bow. And praṇavo dhanuḥ śaraṃ hi ātmā brahma tat lakṣyaṃ ucyate apramattena veddhavyaṃ śaravat tanmayo bhavet. So, important things. The sacred syllable Om is the bow, and the self is the arrow, and Brahman is said to be the target. It has to be hit with mindfulness, and one should become one with it, just like the arrow merging with its mark. So, very important verse. A few important points. One is the word apramattena. Apramattena. Pramatta means absence of alertness, carelessness. Pramatta. Apramatta means alertness, attentive. So, the target, Brahman, which is the mark, has to be hit by one who is apramatta. That is, one who is alert about what should be done and what should not be done. Praṇavo means doing something wrong, even after knowing that this is not helping me. Even after knowing that this is not helping me, but still keep on doing that is called praṇavo. Praṇavo, such a mistake, carelessness, knowing that I am doing the same mistake again and again, this is called praṇavo. And apramatena means just the opposite of it, being alert that things which are not helping me in reaching my goal, here the goal is the higher knowledge about that reality. So, knowing that if something is not helping me in my path, still keep on doing is praṇavo, carelessness. And just opposite of that is alertness. This is so important, alertness. What is happening? Being aware of actually what is happening, where we are trying to go, and actually where we are going, where we are. This honest analysis or honest assessment is being alert. Being alert about that, is it really my priority or it is just one of many goals. Remembering, this is called alertness. This is alertness. Praṇavo means not being alert, careless, doing the same mistake again and again. But alertness means being aware of what mistake we are doing again and again, which is keeping us from the goal and not doing them. Shankaracharya gives some more nuances to the word apramattena. He says, who is apramattena? One who is free from excitement caused by thirst to get at external objects. What Buddha says, tanha or trishna, this thirst, this ever-present craving for experiences, that is absent in people. Shankaracharya says that is one sign of apramattena. And what is more? Who has conquered their senses and whose mind is concentrated. Okay, so conquered their senses mean they can really focus. Now I shall read this book. This kind of attention they can pay. That my eyes will be now be on the book alone for the next 20 or 25 minutes. I will not look any place else. Even if there is a notification sound, I will not reach for my phone. What kind of notification? Any sound, any other unread mail, even if these are in my periphery or in my vision, I would not pay attention to them. That is, my senses are in my control. And also mind is concentrated. Mind is concentrated. Such a mind is called apramattena. Apramattena. In yoga, Patanjali Yoga 1.30, there Patanjali says, what are the mistakes, what are the problems, obstacles in attaining the goal of yoga. So he gives some name. Viddhi is illness, sthana, inability to understand, samshaya, doubt. Doubt is a great obstacle. Then pramada, carelessness, carelessness, carelessness. Other 2 or 3 things also he mentions, but he mentions this carelessness, that what being alert throughout the day, what is helping me in my goal and what is taking me away from my goal. That kind of alertness is called apramattena. So this verse stresses this point that yes, the goal is to hit the arrow, hit the Brahman with the help of Om, and a mind which has to be sharpened by meditation, and by a person. The archer should be alert. Archer should be alert. Here another dimension also. Look about the fact that we have to be aware of our own mind. Okay, the archer has to throw the arrow. Arrow is my mind and archer is my entire being. So there is someone else who is operating the arrow. Where to throw the arrow, how to sharpen the arrow. That is the archer. Okay, so the archer has to be also be careful about the mind itself. Meta-awareness. Meta-awareness. And then śaravat tanmayo bhavet. Be one-pointedly interested in the target. Just as the success of the arrow is its becoming one with the mark, so here the individual being becoming one with that ultimate reality, that has to be also very one-pointed. One-pointed. So not only hitting the target, but remaining absorbed in the target. That is the goal. Not only hitting the target, but remaining absorbed in the target. This we can compare with remaining absorbed in the target. This can be compared with what? Remaining tanmayo. Yes, can be compared with what? Or this remaining absorbed, yes, with the target is called samadhi. Samadhi, absorption. It is deeper than meditation. Meditation is when I have grasped the object, but still I have the awareness that I am meditating. I, such and such, is meditating, sitting on Carmichael on Friday evening. Although I am meditating and my mind is occupied with one thought, but I still have the awareness I am meditating. That is meditation. But when that matures into absorption, then this idea that I am meditating that also is absent. The place is absent. The time is absent. Only the thought on the object is only there. So Upanishad is telling not only hit the target, but remain śaravat tanmayo bhavet, remain absorbed in that. Try to hit again and again, and also try to remain absorbed more and more in the target. That is śaravat tanmayo bhavet. It is just like the Sri Ramakrishna's example of, say, a salt doll, a doll which is made of salt. That salt doll went to an ocean. So when it was standing on the beach, what it saw was only the ocean. But it was seeing the ocean. But when it entered into the ocean, it became dissolved into the ocean. No awareness of what the ocean is like, but getting dissolved in the ocean. Just like this verse is telling, become tanmayo bhavet, become one with the target. Śaravat tanmayo, be absorbed. So salt dissolving into the water. So what is the summary of these two verses? Verse number 2.23 and 2.2.4. So there are few takeaways. One is the bow, Om, is the tool to connect with Brahman. There could be many tools to connect with that reality. All the spiritual paths are different tools to connect with this ultimate reality. Here, Upanishad is telling one of the best tools according to the Upanishad is Om. Om. So that is the bow. And with the help of that bow, we have to, as it were, throw our mind towards the goal. The arrow of mind, which has to be, what kind of arrow? Is a sharp arrow. And how to sharpen the arrow? Through meditation and upāsāna. What is the target? Brahman, Purusha, God. That is the ultimate reality. That is the target. And what is keeping the arrow away from target? The non-recognition of the fact, ignorance of the fact. And in the entire archery, the most important thing is to be mindful. Mindful about each action. Which action is helping in this archery and which is acting against this archery? That we have to be aware of. That is the caveat that the Upanishad is placing before us. Apramattena. Yes. So if you have any question, feel free to ask about this. Then we shall move to a new topic. New topic of viddhi, the cutting asunder of the ignorance that is in the heart. That will be the next topic. But any question about this archery? Yes, Betty. No, we could not hear. Okay, Preetiji, go ahead.
Yes, Maharaj.
Maharaj, can you hear me?
Oh, somebody.
Yes, Preetiji, go ahead.
Yes, so Maharaj, this arrow thing, that it's not sharp. It actually, even after hitting the target, it falls down. So this somehow I'm correlating also with, when Thakur actually gave on Kalpataru gave so many devotees the experience.
Right.
And there was one case in particular, we know that he came back and said, I will go mad. So is that also
Yeah.
an example
Right.
if you haven't sharpened the mind?
Yes. Right. Thank you. This is a very good example that just only hitting the target itself is not sufficient. It has to be made a permanent one. And for that, practice is needed. So Sri Ramakrishna could transmit spiritual experiences to others, but many could not sustain that experience. They were not ready. Their mind was not ready. So suddenly, it's like an outlet which cannot handle that kind of voltage. Suddenly, those kind of outlets are suddenly connected to the electric source, and the appliance can even break down. Similarly, if we are not ready, sometimes just one or random experience can throw us off. So they say that Kundalini, in Kundalini yoga, there are many types of kriya. Kriyas are combination of posture, breath work, then mudra, finger gesture, and mantra meditation. All these together, they are called kriya in Kundalini yoga. So there are different kriyas which are meant to activate different chakras or spiritual centers. So if someone is not, has not prepared themselves and practiced diligently under a proper guide, they can take up one kriya and suddenly inadvertently may even activate any higher chakras. But since they have not had practice or preparation, they can then be imbalanced. Their Kundalini energy can be in imbalance. Then they may suddenly suffer from anxiety and movements, uncontrollable movements they can suffer from. The point is what Upanishad is telling, that the mind should be sharpened through upasana or regular practice. So, no question? Fine. We can do today little bit of Omkar meditation. We have not done Om meditation for a long time. We can do an Omkar meditation, right? So I will stop the streaming.